everyone, and welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time, welcome. I'm Sally. So glad you stopped by. Here on my channel, I talk about all things intentional living, holistic wellness, and just life as a whole. Today, we're going to be talking about snacks, specifically talking about 3 macro-balanced, nutrient-dense, easy, pro-metabolic snacks. We're going to hop into that in just a second, but first, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. It's a huge help to me. Like this video if you like what you see here, and lastly, if you're interested in a little bit more of the day-to-day, you can find me over on Instagram at s.r.hand. I go into a lot of like sourdough bread baking over there, daily food, fitness, just life. That's it. Okay, we're gonna do this thing. Yeah. I am just sitting down with snack number 1, and I may or may not have already taken a couple bites of it, but this is something super simple that you can make a little more substantial, a little less substantial. It's just kind of a fruit and meat board. I have here a tofu mango. I might be saying that wrong, but it's just a yellow mango. By far the best you can find in this part of the United States. I live in North Carolina, and it's hard to find good mangoes, but this one is super rich and almost buttery and sweet and just very flavorful. So I love that because it's high in vitamin C. It's also got a good bit of potassium and calcium in it, and of course fiber. And it's just a wonderful, delicious source of carbohydrates. And then I've got a little bit of my goat's milk Gouda from Trader Joe's. I've talked about this before, absolutely love it. High in vitamin A, and great if any of you are sensitive to cow's milk. That is a little higher in fat, so I have paired it with some prosciutto, and prosciutto still has that natural source of fat in it, of course, but when you look at meats of that kind, it's a little lower. This is about 7 grams of protein per ounce with like 3.5 grams of fat, paired with the cheese, which is like 7 protein and then 9 fat per ounce. So the biggest theme you're gonna see across my snacks is trying to balance protein and carbohydrates primarily, and then the fat's gonna come a little bit more naturally because when we are turning to those whole food sources, usually protein and fat come together. So I just bear that in mind. And don't necessarily try to supplement with it, but I am just cognizant of how much I'm getting to make sure, again, it all stays balanced. And then lastly, I have these Crunchmaster crackers. They're just so good. Multi-grain crackers from Costco is where I get them. I get this huge box. Super oh my gosh, words. Super flavorful, and a great thing to pair with the other items on my plate. So I'm gonna enjoy this as my little post-workout recovery as I'm getting some work done. I'll see you with the next snack. For snack number 2, we are making my new favorite gummy recipe. They are cherries and cream. You can see my previous cherry lime gummy recipe. I'll link it below or in like one of the tags here if you're interested, but this one is next level. I am starting with about 2 cups of cherry juice. We're just gonna add that to a saucepan, but we're not putting it on the heat yet. And then the only other ingredients we need right yet is going to be this grass-fed beef gelatin powder. I get this off Amazon. And for the amount of cherry juice that I used, that 2 cups approximately, I'm adding 4 scoops. Now that my gelatin has bloomed, I've put it over medium low-ish heat, and I'm gonna add a few other ingredients. As it starts to warm up, you can whisk in the gelatin so it gets nice and liquid. And here I'm going to add just a pinch of salt. This is just standard kosher salt because I'm out of my pink Himalayan. Non-iodinized, of course, but that works just fine. Pardon my arm. I'm gonna add about 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. we go, a generous tablespoon we'll say. And then lastly, for at least the time being, I'm gonna add a splash of vanilla, just a teeny splash. We'll whisk that all up and make sure everything is, again, nice and liquid before moving forwards. Now that my gelatin is completely dissolved, I'm adding my true last ingredient, which is 1/2 cup of heavy cream. I'm sure that coconut milk, full fat coconut milk, would work pretty well in this also, but I haven't tried it, so don't quote me on that. I'm gonna turn the heat off and just whisk this to thoroughly combine. It's the next day because I got busy after letting these sit, but you just let them sit in the fridge for at least a couple hours overnight or overnight. Here we go. It's so cute how the juice separates a little bit from the creamy part, but a wonderful balance of protein and carbohydrates and a little fat from the cream. Super delicious. I hope you'll try them. Let me know in the comments if you do. Again, and I'm about to bust out of here because, as you can see by my horrible nail polish, I'm about to go meet my friend and we're gonna get our nails done, but of course first it's snack time. This snack happens to be a very yummy pro-metabolic style smoothie, so I've gone ahead and put part frozen mixed berries and part frozen cherries and just 1 banana in my blender, and I'm gonna show you what else goes in here, but I want to put you on the tripod first. And listen, I know smoothie recipes are all over the place, but this one is both simple and out of the box, and that it really is prioritizing good digestion and just has some different stuff in it. I'll show you. So in addition to my berries and the banana, I'm going to add 2 scoops of collagen. I'll add 1 or 2 just depending on how much protein I've already had. Honestly, I'm gonna go 1.5 today. That's gonna be about 10, no, oh my gosh, math. It's gonna be about 12 grams of protein. I'm gonna add a teeny pinch of my almost completely gone pink Himalayan sea salt. Getting a little sodium in there, and you got potassium from that banana. This cherry juice is actually a great source of vitamin C, as are the whole cherries and our berries. I'm adding just a splash of cherry juice. No, a little more won't hurt. And then I'm adding some whole milk as well. For the longest time, I was just aghast at the thought of putting whole milk, cow's milk, into smoothies. But now I know it's not gonna hurt me. If anything, it's gonna benefit me, and I'm obsessed. It's so good, and it needs just a little bit more. Oh my gosh, there we go. Now for the very best part that's going to absolutely transform your life. If you want a little extra treat, you take some honey and you put it over the top, and it gets a little hard and frozen and chewy, just a little bit. And then you take some lavender. My husband does not like this, but I love it. You take a little bit of lavender and you just sprinkle it over the top. Oh my gosh, can you get better than that? Here we are with snack number 3, all done. I do want to say just a couple things about smoothies. Number 1, I know that a lot of us have been conditioned or trained to pile in the greens, and I'm totally there. I totally am tempted to do that. However, you need to be careful about doing that because sometimes, especially those dark leafy greens, are going to be harder to digest in their raw form, even if they're all blended up. So when you put it in your smoothie, it can actually interfere with the absorption of other nutrients in here. Also, we should be careful, especially certain body types, everyone's different, but about having things that are super cold. And I've even seen some people add a little bit of hot water to the blender so their smoothie isn't icy, because my banana wasn't frozen and my juice was not cold yet. I didn't even consider doing that. And admittedly, I really like cold things, but it's just something to be mindful of if you struggle with digestion when it comes to this kind of thing. And lastly, when it comes to bananas, make sure your bananas are ripe enough. Ideally pretty spotty, because that's gonna be a lot easier to digest than one that is not. That's it though, y'all. Those are my 3 easy snack ideas. I hope you'll try them out. Please let me know in the comments if you try them, but also what easy pro-metabolic snacks you like to eat, macro balanced, nutrient dense, whatever you want to say. I'm going to enjoy this and bounce to my nail appointment. Thanks so much for watching. I seriously appreciate all the support on my last few videos and would love to know what you guys would like to see more of. And like, I just really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.